Zita ta 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 ta. Siti hela la hela la hey hela. Sanbonani. This is Pastor Sebenzuza, umama wezitata. Nilalela umsakazo ohamba phambili kakhulu The Kasi Heartbeat. Ilendra FM.
Hello, this is Puleng from Worship House. Tulula Otobo. You are tuned into the #1 radio station, The Kasi Heartbeat, Leandra FM.
Yes, it is indeed the #1 station, the Kasi Heartbeat, Leandra FM. We just played you a beautiful song, Ega Once More 6, saying Ngege Nsuge Guwe. Now, one thing about such a song or such words, Uguti, you do not say such words unless you've had an experience with God. You do not say such unless you've walked a journey with Him, because such you say when you've been in a journey with Him, when you've experienced Him personally, not uNkulunkulu mbone kwabanye, not even uNkulunkulu omfunde eBhayibhelini, but a God you've experienced on a personal level. You find David athi ngisuka kuwe siyephi or singasuka kuwe siyephi ngoba amazwi okuphila tholakala kuwe. You say such things, or David said such a word because he had experienced God and he had a word from Him. Tonight is not a night for me to be preaching, but it is an exclusive with the man behind the mic, the man behind such a beautiful music. His name is Once More 6. Putwam Gunjan. We are excited. A man had to get a hold of, I should say, a busy man. How has it been in the past few weeks, though?
No, it's been okay, man. It's been okay. I'm working, doing a few things here and there. You don't have to wait for gigs or for other people to call you to work. You can do your own thing. You can stand up, go do something in the studio, or go work somewhere. Like, there's always something you can do to continue working on your skill and making a difference. So
talk about nice life problems, eh? you are where others say when I grow up, upilai when I grow up. So for those who don't know you, if you were to explain who is Once More, and I'm talking about your upbringing, where were you born and all that, we want all those details.
And Once More, that's where I was born. That's where I grew up. I'm a pastor's kid. It's about 6, 26.
Yeah.
Grew up in the church. So before I could learn how to talk, apparently I was singing. So yeah.
It's in the DNA.
Yeah, man, it's in the DNA. And my mother was singing. My mother was a singer. She still sings.
Oh, okay.
My mom still sings. And I actually have a picture of my mother on the wedding day in Bashada, no Baba. She had a pink mic and she was singing.
Wow.
So, yeah. So, yeah, man, I grew up in the church.
Okay, yeah, like many others.
Yeah, but
hey.
And then sometime became the worship leader. So many to cut the CB choir man.
Yes.
Yeah, man. worship team at Nkonzweni did very well under my leadership. We went out to gospel competitions and we won a few. We opened up for dress celebration. We opened up for the late Babu's Fisumwan.
Wow.
Masibuyele with Jehovah. You know, we did
what?
A few things with the worship team as we go to any back home, you know. So it's been a wonderful journey. And then from there, moved to Pretoria, and man, God has been good. Yeah, it's been an amazing journey. And I think one of the first people, actually, the person who gave me that first chance was Teps David. I don't know if you know him.
Yeah.
Teps David gave me a chance. I worked with him on his live DVD recording, which was my first professional gig. From there, Avulela Masango. So when no Babu Soli Mashango, then worked with my mentor, Pastor Philly Madua. Taught me a lot of things. One cool the spirit thing, and I worked with Dr. Dumi, Dakindo, Bishop Benjamin Dube, and standing singing next to Fred Hammond.
What?
that was next to him, like trying to check out me.
No.
I was like, you know what, God is doing good.
You made it. Die and go to heaven, bro. What?
In that moment, I'm like, sure.
That is Mr. You are the living word himself.
My brother, listen, man. Because sometimes when you're just working, you sometimes lose track of how much God is doing in your life because you're not taking time to stand and reflect on how far God has actually taken you from and where you are, you understand? So, yeah, man, it's been amazing. I've been around the world, been around the continent, Tanzania, Rwanda, Kenya, been to the UK, a lot of places, man. Yeah, it's been a wonderful upbringing and a wonderful journey.
And I guess it makes sense why you are, when I'm watching TV, every second song you are there. This is a guy from Epetal, and every second song there is dreadlocks there. I'm like, what? Wow, man.
Yeah.
So one would ask, yes, you are fathered by a pastor, a mother that worships, and many people go astray. For the fact that we PK, actually we're expecting the worst, you know. And when you just chose a gospel as a genre, why gospel music?
Yeah. Hey man, you know what? Above all things, I should start with as a pastor's kid, I tell you now, what we've been through as a family, I have had every reason to if I should put it that way, and to say, you know what, I could have been a statistic and one of those pastor's kids who go the other direction. But, what I love about my family is that, and what I'm grateful for, I was Alabama, and they instilled a relationship. They made sure that we have a relationship outside of church.
Wow.
Even before you have a relationship with the church, as a person.
Wow.
It failed you. Your relationship with God still stands. So that's the one thing that my parents made sure of. And so whatever happened, the challenges that came, because we are called, I've been thinking on this course, that came with church, church politics, whatever you want to call it, and all the ups and downs that come with ministry. But because I had a personal relationship with God. So whatever was happening in the church, the good and the bad, bengingasuki ekumazini uNkulunkulu empilweni yami personally. So I guess that's how I made it, man. The teachings that my parents taught me bangisondeza kuNkulunkulu.
Wow.
Nanoma ngomfana wami sonto ubona ngathi yazalwane kwenzenjani wena yazana noNkulunkulu, yazana nomnikazi wesonto.
Wow. That is powerful. The knowing God in your sacred place before you go out there, and because your second question has actually covered my third question, which would have been your brief journey with Christ. But there's something that triggered as you were talking, Uguti. Your father and your mother have taught you Christ and taught you to have a relationship with Him. So, as a pastor's kid, didn't you feel robbed of your father's attention and time, him being full-time in ministry? And how has that affected you, if there was any?
Man, I did at times, Honestly, I did at times, because my father was full-time in the ministry. So, and then because of his love for people, his love for the church, a lot of people would come to him, even outside of church. There's a kaya, you understand? So even some family time at home sometimes would be compromised, and sometimes it would be, it would be off, man.
Yeah.
No, and we would attend church every Sunday. I remember the first time I missed a service on Sunday, like because we had literally attended every service, every cell group service, every whole night prayer, every we were there, you understand? Sure. Even going out to on holidays, you would go, but Masinyane have to quickly come back because you understand? So man, with all of that happening, when I look back now on the man that I am and some of the things that are keeping me grounded right now, I actually see that it's a result of that upbringing. As much as some of the things were extreme and could have been done differently, but it laid such a strong foundation of faith in my life that is not shaken until today. Like nanamhlanje, wow. And it's all because of that upbringing. So it taught me, even in a bad situation, God brings something good out of it. God always brings, Jehovah has a way of just somehow building something beautiful out of a messy situation. So it's because of that upbringing. So I'm actually grateful for the way I grew up.
Wow. And didn't you feel any pressures? Being a pastor's kid, didn't you feel any pressures, Uguti? The church expects me to be in a certain way, or there's certain things that the church members are not expecting from me and all that, and if there was any, how did you deal with that?
Man, so I definitely had some pressures and expectations from people, and how I'm supposed to conduct myself, and other kids would do things and not necessarily get into trouble.
Yeah.
But if the same thing. So I honestly think that's one of the things that supposed to change in our society. To say that pastor's kid or not, we need to hold everyone accountable for uNkulunkulu. So we shouldn't hold pastors' kids as if they are specially selected to live a certain life. Then all kids should live that way. If it's God's way and God's will that they're supposed to live in, it shouldn't be an expectation that is only on pastor's kids, but it should be an expectation that is on everyone, not just pastor's kids. So, we've just had a problem of holding specific people accountable of living in towards uNkulunkulu. You understand?
Wow.
And it's actually something that should be throughout the church. Everyone should be accountable of living a life that's pleasing to God. So
wow. So just before we get to the music side of things, you growing up, you're a worshiper in church and all that. Having that experience now, and when you look back and reflect, the importance of the presence of God as a worshiper, because you've just mentioned earlier on, very important ukuthi sometimes yamsebenzela uNkulunkulu kodwa ube, let's say ungasindiswanga or something like that, you know. The importance of the presence of God in your work or the worshiping and all that. What can you say about that?
My brother, as a minister in the gospel of God, and it's something that we're taking very casually these days. When you are singing on stage, it's actually 10% of what you are supposed to do as someone who's singing gospel music. That's 10% of your work. 90% is off stage. 90% yomsebenzi womuntu ohlabelelayo ucula igospel, uculela uNkulunkulu, aculela abantu, amikisa uNkulunkulu ebantwini, ahlangene abantu noNkulunkulu. Umsebenzi wakho is off stage. That's where your real gig, igig lakho alikho stage. Gig lakho is off stage, where you spend time with God, when you pray, when you seek the face of God, when you love people, when you are humble, when you forgive people, when you care, when you are kind. Because hey man, sibakhonza kanjani abantu bakaNkulunkulu esingabathandi, without humility, without understanding people, without being patient, without not looking down on people. How do we serve the people of God if we do not have a loving relationship? So man, it's actually important. And that's just half of it. Other half is, what are we feeding abantwana bakaNkulunkulu nangaba asinabudlelwane noNkulunkulu? Because this thing is spiritual. It's the gospel. It's the message of Christ. It's the message of truth. And I feel in inyama negazi. This is not a fleshly war. It's a spiritual endeavor. It's a spiritual journey where when you are standing, there are people in front of you who probably are suicidal. There are people in front of you who are sick. There are people in front of you who are depressed. There are people in front of you who are going through a divorce and depression and frustrations. And if you are standing there just to gain more fans, understand? And their spirits and their souls, because they need to have an encounter with the Spirit of God. They need to have an encounter with Nkulunkulu. So there's no way you cannot sing gospel music, stand in front of people and proclaim the name of Jesus without having a healthy, solid relationship with Nkulunkulu. It's very important.
Wow. And like I said earlier on, Uguti, every second song I see, you are there. It then tells me, Uguti, your work ethic is on par, and you avail yourself for this ministry. What drives you? What pushes you? And I think I've got the first part of it. Because what I'm sensing from your previous answer, you've got this heart for abantwana bakaNkulunkulu. What else drives you, I need to minister. The hunger, where do you get that?
You know, same thing that was driving Jesus, his purpose, his calling. Yonke into Jesu bekayenza ayenza emhlabeni bekayenzela ukufeza intando kaNkulunkulu. So when God calls you into a ministry, you do everything to fulfill the will of God and the purpose of God for your life. So wenza ngayo uzama ngayo yonke indlela ukuphila entandweni kaNkulunkulu ukuze kufezeke intando yakhe nempilo yakho. So man, in everything that I do, I know that I'm not just doing it for myself, I'm not just doing it for my family and for the people who believe in my ministry, but first and foremost, I'm doing it for God. You understand? So that's why many musicians, this should be also my advice to many musicians. Stop only working on your craft. If you're a person who plays the drums, don't only work on your skills when it comes to the drums. Also work on your skills when it comes to your character. Work on your skills when it comes to humility. Work on your skills when it comes to relating to people. Work on your skills. Work on everything. That's why the person is very skillful but very prideful at the same time. Very skillful at the same time. You understand? So, and then we have abazalwane and musicians who are tune-based. Amazi ukuthi ngoba icareer yakhe ithi uyakholwa kodwa impilo yakhe itshele into ngayo. Understand? So we have to live a life, man, that is pleasing to God, and if God has called you to something, you live according to His will and and not that it's an easy journey and we make so many mistakes, but by the grace of God, Jehovah God since by believing David was a man after God's heart.
Yes.
Full of
flop.
Never flop blindly out. But God says this is a man after my heart.
Sure.
In David there was a heart of, Lord, I know I mess up. But I want to make you happy. You know? And that should be the life of someone who is in the gospel industry. So I don't just take my skills to the people I work with. I also try by all means to portray character right. I respect their time. I respect them, you understand? So the and input like input just be there and be a person who respects themselves, who respects time, who respects people, who loves people, have humility.
The humility takes me back to, I don't know if you remember, we actually first met at in Divine's house, a Secunda.
I remember.
Yeah, and I remember we went to that a gospel show and in Balentle, and obviously I went there at that time being broke because it was free entrance. We got there, and you were ministering, and the way you minister was just out of this world. You know, I think you just get crazy. I don't know what you say because no chabu kibela pes we do no and all that. But there's this specific moment. You were dance singing. Everyone was dance singing. There was this pastor. I'm not sure who is his name. You know. And he was behind the altar call to all the worshippers and saying, "Guti."
Pastor Philly.
Yes.
That's my mentor. That's what I was talking about. Who's my mentor?
Exactly. Yes. And he was talking and saying, "Oguti, if you now altar call, if you want to get ahead, if you want to grow in this thing." And I saw you. We knew once is big, but there is once going to altar call. And then and the pastor was like, when I'm funegila. And he actually and like when I was you know, that stayed with me because in the end like 2017 I think that stayed with me, you know, and whenever I see you on TV, that's what I think of. I'm like, here's this guy, so much humility, and then we check your social media and you don't talk much. you don't talk nonsense, if I should say. You don't become big. How do you remain humble, man? How do you do that? It's a fight, bro. This is a fight. Like uguti ungatype. It's a fight. I've got too much data. I need to type something. I need to speak for the sake of speaking. But when you post something as something fruitful, how do you do that?
Yo, my brother. First thing is, man, from back home until now, actually, I've always believed in accountability.
Yo,
having people around you who can tell you when you are losing your way. I've always believed in that. From back home, growing up until today, because what happens is the more uNkulunkulu aphakamisa abantu abaningi, and it's a trap that anyone can fall into, but it needs a lot of wisdom to duck and not fall into that trap. Abantu abaningi, when God starts lifting you up, it's very easy and it's very nice to surround yourself with people who only celebrate you. Surround abantu abashayela izandla, and to find that the people who are around you are just fans. You understand? Usarround fans, usarround abantu abashayela izandla, akunamuntu okukhuzayo, akunamuntu okutshelayo ukuthi hey don't treat people that way. We understand, because you can't live in an island, man. You won't make it. Because now put kunezinto ozenzayo ezimbi kuwe ongaziboni, most of the time the person in front of me ongibhekile, mina ngizibona. You understand? So that's the life of someone who God is raising. Learn to keep people around you. Pick a person, pick someone who you'll be accountable to. Get a mentor, and get someone who will speak into your life, someone who will be just overseeing, man, and looking over your life to make sure you are humble and you treat people right, just keep checking on you. We live in a world where everyone wants to say something, even when there's nothing to say. Relevant.
Yes,
when there's nothing that demands relevance. We need wisdom, man. Let's live and love one another. If you don't have something good to say, don't say anything. Don't try and say something for the sake of
saying
being relevant.
something.
Because famous. I need to you feel relevant. So I need to be busy on Facebook, on Instagram, on the socials. People must always see me. The danger of that you end up posting and saying unnecessary things. You understand? Because so relax, man. And intensely, if you are a prayerful person and you spend time with God, every time you post, it will come from a good heart, because out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So what they don't realize is that you are actually exposing your lack of a relationship with God. So at the risk of exposing yourself, I would say, when you put something up, let's build one another. Let's contribute something good to someone's life instead of just coming on and
Okay. Okay, let's get to the single. The single ngeke ngisuke kuwe. How does it come to mind? How is it planted in your spirit? What happened?
Hey, my brother, a lot happened.
Okay.
A lot happened. Man, that song comes from a very, very dark, painful place. When this whole lockdown situation started last year,
yes.
But it just kept going on, and as a musician, your bread comes from working events and invitations to churches and whatnot. So all of those things, one phone call after another, events were being cancelled, invitations were being cancelled. If it's your call, someone is your father, your postpone, if it's your cancel, you understand? And my cancel is cancel anything. I need to put food on the table. I'm a married man. I have a beautiful wife. I have 3 kids.
Wow! For so much for a man only was shell. Okay. Okay.
My brother, I have a good letter. I must need tall hands.
More patalis. So in all of that uncertainty, because I started doubting, is this what I'm really called to do? Shouldn't I just do something else? You understand? I'm really and the Holy Spirit reminded me, hey, are you doing this because God said do it? Are you doing it for the money that you get paid? Is it for the money? Is it for the money that you get? Or are you doing this understand? And then from that place, my faith was tested. My intentions for doing what I'm doing. Once more, to really decide why you are doing this music thing. Is it a career or is it a ministry? Are you there because God called you to do it, and whatever happens, are you still going to do it? And then I had to make a decision. Of course, as in, I know I have tears in my eyes right now. I'm not sure how I'm going to survive the next 6 months. Other months, that. But Lord, I trust you. And this, I will keep on doing it regardless of how my bank account looks like, regardless of if people pay me or not, regardless of if I get another invitation or not. That's where it came from. Wow.
That's where it came from. Yeah. Because we live in a very generation we're in a rush. If God says something and it doesn't happen now, we want to jump on and move on to the next thing. That's how we think these days. You understand? It's the will of God only if it happens quickly. If it doesn't happen fast enough, then I need to do something else. It's not the will of God. Let me try something else. Let me do that. You understand?
Sure.
But we need a generation that is willing to stay. So that was me saying, oh Lord, my career right now in this ministry, this thing you called me for, I am 7 right now. But Lord, if this is what you say I'm supposed to do, I will remain in your purpose, I will remain in your presence, and I will remain in your will for my life.
Wow. And listening to music, I mean, my favorite song would be, We Are Your Children. You sing Nepal that. It's just so beautiful. Now your music quality, your music arrangement, it's clear what you also mundo tingpimbeli nkosi. Okay. You all about accent. I don't know. The sound. How do you decide on a sound? How does it come about? It's so perfect. With me, I love BB Winans. That's me. His live performances are just because I love the sound there. Then listen to your music. The sound is so clean. It's so beautiful. It's so well arranged and all. How do you decide on the sound?
Man, it is also, it comes to number one, working on your craft. like I said earlier on, is that you not only work on your character. Well, okay, you not only work on your skill, but you also work on your character and those other things. You don't only work on your character again, but you also work on your skills. They need to be a balance. So I'm a person who really works on their craft, man. Yeah, I rehearse, I practice, I go through other people's music to listen to how they do things. I found a lot of influence from the people I've worked with. You understand? Like I said, if I found myself one day standing next to Fred Hammond, so you can't stand next to Fred Hammond the one day and then the next day you release something that is awkward. Fred Hammond uqhula naye kodwa manje lento ophile yona le
there's no relationship whatsoever.
There's no relationship. So God has been graceful enough to take me on a journey of working with so many great ministers in the gospel music industry who are doing so well and giving us excellent music. You understand? So throughout the years, man, I was learning. Man. I was not just working; I was learning. So mfundile and everything that I've applied, everything that I've learned, I'm applying it now. And also not to give credit just to myself. I've also on both the songs, We Are Your Children and Ngeke Ngisuke, it was also because of a great team when it comes to the musician and the friends, because some of them are good friends that I worked on. On both of those songs.
Wow, beautiful music. And so it gets released. There was a countdown, and when it finally gets released, you get feedback from fans, supporters, and obviously you've gained more people that maybe never knew you, but because of the media and all that, then they got to be like, okay, let's just listen to this. You get the feedback. How did that make you feel?
Man, I was firstly, let me be honest, I was a bit overwhelmed.
I can imagine.
I was never ready, man. I was never ready. Because, man, you do what you can. For me, as a Manyama artist or other ministers, when they do this thing, bad line of it, I want to learn from the microphone, understand? And then you respond, 2,000 new fans or something. So I didn't have that plan.
No PR whatsoever.
No PR whatsoever. For me, I wanted to release a good song. That was my goal. Let me release a good song. Understand?
Wow.
And because of the people that were around me who believe in my ministry and what I've been doing, when they heard that I'm going to release a song, everyone got so excited, and people just started making noise about it, man. I did call a few friends to say, hey man, help me put this up. I'm releasing a song. Please put it up on your status and tell a few friends. But I only told like a few people, man, less than 10, and I didn't tell a lot of people. I sent to a few groups and told a few friends. The next day, I understood.
Wow, it's putting so much pressure, and you're asking yourself, am I sure this is the heat?
My brother. And it was overwhelming, but it brought me to a place of being so grateful. You understand?
Wow.
And to be encouraged. Ngoba lento lena mfethu asiyenzela ukuthi abantu bashayele izandla, abantu bancome, you understand? But when they do, I want to lie, there is a part of the human me becomes encouraged to say, oh man, I'm in the right direction. So, sometimes, but hey, look at this response. This is encouraging. So, it was really a good moment. I was very happy.
So what are you cooking? What's next after Angeke Ngisuke Kuwe?
Another single, my brother.
Okay.
Yeah, another single.
So you're cooking something, definitely.
Cooking something, definitely. Cooking. And what I can say is I'm not in a rush for an album, man. Yeah, I'm not in a rush for an album. Because one thing about me, I think people realize as time goes on, is that I'm not really pressured to do things ngendlela ye-industry or the way they've always been done. You understand? I'll move at my own pace, do what needs to be done and what the Holy Spirit leads me to do. And when God opens the door, and I know that it's God that opens that door,
wow,
with no hesitation and with no second thought. But I won't just jump into something because you understand that's just
that pressure,
the expectation.
Yeah.
Keep your album here or in
can't release an album for the sake of it.
Yeah, just for the sake of it, because keep your album is and it doesn't make an impact. You understand? I need to be sure that my album is stamped how we usually would
wow.
Keep your album. You understand?
As the Spirit leads.
Yeah, man. But God has been, God has been great, man, because I've met people, because even the release of Angeke Ngisuke here in Pretoria, I'm at a church, it's in Convict in Muso Church, and the people there have been so supportive, and they've played a big role in the release of the song, you know, because in the Bayenzega, and people don't know is that it's on 20. We planned a worship service, which is a service we have once a month, basically, where it's only worship. Wow. So we decided to say, this worship service is why don't we record it? You understand?
Wow.
And yeah, and then Angeke Ngisuke was one of the songs that we sang at the worship service, and it was so big. Wow. It was one of the big songs of the day, you understand? And now I record. We want to support you in the church. Let's release the song. Let's see what we can do. We believe this song is a song for this season. This is the message that God's people need to hear. So let's release it. You understand? So that's why it's Mahamba in Tanzania when you walk in God's will and trust Him. We have
wow.
Like he makes a way and he does things himself. So I didn't have to lift a finger. I didn't have to dig deep into my pockets. Like what people don't know, that the release of this single was all on God, man. God himself, man. I didn't have to stress about anything. You know? So that for me is how I want my ministry to be. I will work hard. Like, don't get me wrong. I will work very hard. It's in the purpose of God for my life and the will of God for my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Talking about that, you've just appreciated the church. Who did you work with? I think it's time to appreciate those people on the project.
Man, firstly, the producer, man, Joseph Magola. This is a brother who, the Love and Grace album here, Dr. Tumi, that's the brains behind it. That's the brother who produced it, was playing on that album.
Wow.
The album that made Dr. Tumi great. Dr. Tumi we know today. That gentleman is the gentleman who produced this song. And man, and he produced many other albums. I mean, he's the one who produced Busti Khate's album.
What?
Yeah, man, he has produced a lot of amazing music, like incredible music, and he has an incredible heart, man. He loves God, he loves ministry, and if he sees anything and he identifies something that it's something that like you're doing it for God, he will go in guns blazing, hit the ground running, and he will help and he will support, and he just has an incredible heart for ministry, man.
Wow.
You know, he's the one guy, and then Ule Umrolo, who also has played for I don't know how many artists, man. He's a great producer also himself. He also played keys, keyboards on and all the sounds that you hear, the nice sounds apart from the piano on the song, organs and everything. That's him.
Wow.
And then I had a brother, Emil, who played the lead guitar. I had a brother called excuse me, Pule Mbeki, who played the drums, who was amazing on the drums. He was great. He's also producer now.
His hands must have been tired, man, because the drum there, yo, this guy is hitting it, man. I don't know how many sticks he broke.
Yeah, and I also had my brother from my mother, another mother, Masakin there. And what? Okay, many people don't know that I'm colored, man.
What?
I'm actually colored.
Yeah, maybe explain the surname, bruh. I think you're the only person that has this surname.
My surname is my surname. Six.
What is that? That's a lazy surname.
Yeah, it's like they do things. They're like, yeah, we can't think of a surname.
That begins with my 80 fast. Go to, hey, just put 6 there.
Yeah, man. Okay, long story short, basically, my great grandfather was a white gentleman from Holland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that's where 6 comes from.
Okay.
He came to South Africa. He married not married, but he got down and did things with my great
Entangled, yeah.
yeah, entangled with my great grandmother, who was a Ndebele woman, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
And then from there, that's how basically, yeah.
Okay, it came down. Okay.
Then my grandfather married a Ndebele woman again. Then my father married a Sutu, my mother's Sutu.
Okay.
That's how it became darker and darker and darker.
And what did you marry?
I married a beautiful fucking woman.
Oh. Oh,
yeah, man, I married a beautiful Swati woman, and yeah.
Wow.
So
okay.
that's where the 6 comes from. So my great grandfather is from Holland, and that's Mr. 6.
Oh, okay. So your Masakent?
My Masakent is he played bass, and you know what the interesting story is, is that he came through in studio, and the gentleman who was actually supposed to play the bass guitar was not available.
Oh, okay.
And he was like, he was just passing by. When he got to studio, we were working on the song, and he fell in love with the song, and he said, I want to play this song, you know?
When the Bible says he will supply all your needs, that's what
My
happened.
brother, listen, man. And
Yo.
just like that, he played on it, and man, it's beautiful. He did an amazing job, man. He did an amazing job.
Wow.
Then I had Bumi who I worked with Tumi and Mutswedi. They did alto and soprano, and I actually did tenor myself on the song.
Okay.
So I'm the one singing tenor on the song.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, and then it was mixed by Job Tako, which is a beautiful mixing engineer. Most of the music you hear, the DVDs you hear, you watch, he mixes 70% of the gospel industry stuff.
Wow.
In our countries, you know. So yeah, man. So I have an amazing team. Just God just blessed me with an amazing team and people who believed in me and said, you know what, we want to be part of this, and we're going to do it, and we're going to make it sound good.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So 5-year plan?
5-year plan. You said 5-year plan.
What's your 5-year plan? Yes.
My brother from here, you know, it's over snacks.
Okay.
I wanna preach the gospel.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm defeated, bro.
Gospel.
Every answer of yours has just the heart of God for the people.
I want to preach the gospel.
Wow.
If I can stand 5 years from now, I don't care what else I would have achieved. if 5 years from now I can stand, when I look back, I want to see millions of souls that I've won to Christ.
Wow.
Through my music, through my preaching, through everything, I just want to look back and say, Lord, these are the people who come to know you, and I preached to these people.
Okay, my last question would be, obviously you know about the passing of Shona Ferguson, and today he was laid to rest. And if there's one thing that pops up, abantu mabakhuluma ngayo ukuthi he loved his family. Now, if I were to ask you, what do you want to be remembered as, or who do you want to be remembered as, if you were to depart, God forbid?
Hey man, my answer will be like the previous one.
You preach Jesus.
I preached Jesus, my friend. This is what I want to be remembered for. You know, Divine once said something to me that I will never forget. What Divine said to me, and I think this is a Secunda. I think it's actually that show.
Okay.
The one that, the one where I tried to be part of the altar call and the.
Yeah.
I think it's at that show when he said, I think he was on stage and he said, if I get off this stage and you don't remember my face, as long as you had an encounter with Jesus, I will be okay.
Jesus.
I will be fine. I will be fine. And man, when I leave this earth and go to meet my Father in heaven, even if people don't remember my face, if they were saved, and if they follow me and also come and meet me, bang join in heaven, that for me, that for me would be joy, unspeakable joy. And they don't remember my songs and whatnot, but if I connected them with Jesus and they got saved because of me and they will follow me to heaven, I would have made it.
Wow. Okay, I promised that Uguti, that was my last question, but it's not. Okay, now my last question.
Yeah.
The role your wife played in who you are now. You keep mentioning her, and I'm like, okay, let me just ask you this question. The role she played in Once More 6, being Once More 6.
You know, there's a show, my first show that I hosted at home at Bedala. That woman supported me, my brother. That show wouldn't have happened if it wasn't my wife, and it was one of a kind. Like, on that show, remember this is years ago, like this is way back. I remember this at 28.
Oh, what? No, it can't be.
I still looked very good in the suit.
You were 6 pounds.
Man, the suit, the food we bought
There's no turkey in Bellamand.
My brother, it's turkey, I said So what happened is, it was big. It was the first of a kind hosted by a local individual. You understand? I hired sound from Pretoria. I hired singers. I got friends from outside of town, around friends from Standerton, friends from Joburg, Pretoria, to come in and play the music and singers from outside. You understand? So I literally outsourced the best of the best. I got to Smunguni, to come and play, and he was part of the show he produced. I had amazing people, man, and for me, the success of that show, which is one of the events, actually the first event that made me realize that this thing is possible, and my wife is the reason for the success here. She supported me, she prayed for me, she made me exercise so that I can be fit. She did everything you can imagine, man. She was just backing me up and praying for me and encouraging me. And from that day until now, she's my number one fan. She's my number one supporter.
Wow.
Man, that woman has my back, man.
Wow.
I love her so much. And everywhere I go, she's there. And if she can't make it, I know that because of something
it's genuine, yeah.
It's work or whatever, but she's always there, supporting me, praying for me. She's just the best helper that God could have given me. Like, yeah.
Wow. Any last words, my brother?
Man, to anyone who's listening, don't give up on God.
Wow.
It doesn't matter how hard it becomes. Whatever you need, you will find in God. You will find it in His presence. It might not come at the time that we thought it would arrive, but surely it will arrive. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Do not leave the presence of God. Keep praying, keep worshiping God, keep trusting God. He loves you and He won't leave you, He won't forsake you.
Wow. How do we book you?
Hey, listen now, my details are on Facebook, my Facebook page. I'm OnceMore6 on Facebook, and on Instagram I'm the number 1, then NCEMORE, and then the number 6, OnceMore6 on Instagram. And you can book me, you can send your booking request or whatever on my email, which is 1T6 at gmail.com. Just hit me up with an email, or you can get my details on my Facebook to find out how you can book me.
Yes, folks, that was Owansi. OnceMore6, and all the details we've just given you, we will be sharing it on our page right after this. My brother, thank you so much. Thank you. I think this is officially my longest interview with an artist, but feels like the shortest. It feels short, bro. I think you've got so much to tell us. But we are working on doing podcasts, you know, your Leandra TV. So you should be one of the guys that I have a chat sit, and so that is uzosixoxela zonke izitori zakho where you failed ukushela and all those other stories. Feel like we encyclopedia yebandla. Alright, folks, that was OnceMore6, Mr. Ngeke Ngisuke Kuwe himself. And if you don't know the song, this is the song.
One station, the Kasi Heartbeat.